You've been lied to. Because some of the best mayonnaise in America is sitting on the bottom shelf for half the price, and it tastes better than the fancy jars people brag about. So today, we're doing something extremely dangerous for my wallet, but amazing for your sandwiches. 5 cheap mayos that are better than expensive ones. Real brands, real stores, real taste, and yes, we're talking real prices you can actually find in American markets. And stay until the end because the last one is the secret weapon mayo that people buy once and then never go back. Let's go. All right, first things first. Let me say something controversial. Expensive mayo doesn't automatically mean better mayo. A lot of those premium jars are literally just basic mayo with a prettier label and a price tag that makes you feel like you should eat it with a tuxedo on. But the good news is, Americans have access to some insanely good mayo that's cheap, creamy, rich, and perfect for sandwiches, tuna salad, potato salad, deviled eggs, homemade sauces, everything. And I'm not just listing random brands either. I'm choosing these based on 3 things. Number 1, flavor. Number 2, texture. Number 3, how well it performs in real everyday food. Because if your mayo can't survive a turkey sandwich, a BLT, and a late-night grilled cheese, it's not real mayo. So let's start with one that shocks people every time. Mayo number 1, Great Value Mayonnaise from Walmart. Yes, the Walmart store brand. And before you roll your eyes, I need you to hear me out. This is the kind of mayo that people buy just to save money and then accidentally realize is actually good. It's creamy, smooth, and mild enough that it doesn't hijack your food, but still gives you that classic mayo richness. And here's why Great Value Mayo is underrated. It's not trying to be artisanal. It's not trying to be edgy. It's just trying to be solid mayo. And in a sandwich, it absolutely delivers. If you're making chicken salad, tuna salad, or potato salad, Great Value Mayo blends super easily and gives that soft, creamy texture without tasting greasy. Now, let's hit the part everybody wants, the price. At Walmart, Great Value Mayonnaise 30 fluid ounces is about $3.14. Let me repeat that, $3.14. That is the price of one fancy coffee for a jar of mayo that can carry your entire week of meals. And honestly, in blind taste tests at home, a lot of people can't even tell it's a cheap brand. So, if you want maximum savings and surprisingly good taste, Great Value is a monster. But the next one? This one is the people's champion. Mayo number 2, Kraft Real Mayonnaise from Walmart. Okay, Kraft doesn't always get respect in the mayo world, but Kraft Real Mayo has something a lot of mayos don't. It has that familiar, classic American sandwich flavor that feels like childhood. It's creamy, lightly tangy, and it's one of the easiest mayos to use when you want to make sauces like burger sauce, fry sauce, ranch-style mixes, coleslaw dressing, homemade garlic sauce. And it has a slightly more balanced taste, meaning it doesn't punch you in the face with vinegar or egg. It's friendly mayo. And here's something important. Kraft also highlights that it's made with cage-free eggs and includes ingredients like vinegar and lemon juice for flavor. So it's not just creamy, it's built for flavor. Now, the best part, the price is cheap. On Walmart, Kraft Real Mayonnaise 30 fluid ounces is around $4.98, under $5 for a brand name mayo that tastes better than a lot of overpriced organic jars. And honestly, in my opinion, Kraft Real Mayo is perfect for people who like their mayo smooth, not too sour, not too rich, not too heavy. It's the middle-of-the-road mayo in the best way. But now we're stepping into legendary territory. Mayo number 3, Duke's Real Mayonnaise from Walmart, Dollar General, and Southern stores. If you're from the South, you already know. People don't use Duke's. People are loyal to Duke's. This is the mayo that turns a normal sandwich into something that tastes like it came from a diner that's been open since 1972. The texture is thick, rich, and smooth. The flavor is bold, and it gives food that wow factor. Now, Duke's is famous because it has a more intense tang compared to basic mayo, and it hits harder in recipes like pimento cheese, deviled eggs, chicken salad, slaws, homemade dips. Basically, if you want flavor that pops, Duke's is the move. And the wild part is, it's still cheap. At Walmart, Duke's Real Mayonnaise, 30 ounces, is about $4.98. That is insane value for what most people consider a premium-tasting mayo. And if you think I'm exaggerating, here's something even crazier. Duke's Mayo was literally named Wirecutter's top pick in 2025, getting praise for things like tangy flavor, smooth whipped texture, and rich egg yolk base. So yes, you can buy a $4.98 mayo that gets treated like a gourmet item. That's why Duke's belongs on this list. But we're not done, because now we're talking about one of the biggest expensive brand scams in grocery history. Mayo number 4, Best Foods Real Mayonnaise from the West Coast MVP. Okay, let me break this down in the most American way possible. Depending on where you live, you'll see either Hellmann's or Best Foods. And here's the plot twist. In many cases, people say they're basically the same style of mayo, just different branding depending on region. So if you're on the West Coast, you'll often see Best Foods as the main option. And Best Foods Real Mayo has that classic, thick, creamy texture that works on everything. It's not too sweet, it's not weird, it's just the type of mayo that makes you go, yep, that's the one. Now here's why it's cheap list. Because even though some people treat it like a premium staple, you can often find it at very reasonable prices. For example, Best Foods Real Mayonnaise, 30 ounces, has been listed around $5.97. And at Target, Best Foods Real Mayonnaise, 30 ounces, is shown in a range around $4.49 to $5.99. So when people say mayo is expensive now, yeah, sometimes, but this proves you can still get a legit top-tier brand around $5. And Best Foods is one of the best all-purpose mayos because it has the right balance for sandwiches, salads, sauces, and baking hacks. Yes, people bake with mayo. So if you see it and it's on sale, grab it. Now we've reached the one that might actually start a fight in the comments because this next mayo is cheap, underrated, and people refuse to believe it tastes as good as it does. Mayo number 5, Berman's Real Mayonnaise from Aldi. Listen, I'm gonna say it loud. Aldi is running the condiment game, and Berman's Real Mayonnaise is one of those products that makes you stop and go, hold up, why is this so good? It's creamy, it spreads perfectly, it blends well, and it has a clean mayo flavor that doesn't taste artificial. This is the kind of mayo that makes even a boring ham sandwich feel like you did something. And Berman's is amazing for meal prepping because it's cheap and consistent. Now, the only downside is not everyone has an Aldi close by, but if you do, Berman's is absolutely worth the trip. And the price? On Aldi's online shop listing, Berman's Real Mayonnaise is shown at about $3.29 for 30 fluid ounces. $3.29! That is basically the same price tier as Great Value, but from Aldi. So if you like Aldi's quality and you want to save money, Berman's is easily one of the smartest grocery buys you can make. And yes, it belongs on the list of cheap mayos that taste better than expensive ones. Now, before you click away, let me give you a quick cheat sheet so you know exactly which one to pick depending on your vibe. If you want the cheapest possible mayo that still tastes good, Great Value from Walmart at about $3.14. If you want a classic American smooth mayo, Kraft Real Mayonnaise at about $4.98. If you want rich, tangy, bold flavor, Duke's at about $4.98. If you want a trusted big brand that works in everything, Best Foods, around $4.49 to $5.99. And if you want an Aldi cheat code with crazy value, Berman's at about $3.29. Now let me hit you with a final truth bomb. Most people buy expensive mayo because they think it's healthier, cleaner, or premium. But the real question is, does it taste better? Does it mix better? Does it make your food better? Because if it doesn't, then you're just paying extra money to feel fancy. And you don't need that. You need mayo that's creamy, flavorful, and makes your sandwich look like a restaurant meal. So here's what I want you to do.
Next time you go to the store, grab one cheap mayo from this list. Try it for a week and then come back and tell me in the comments which one shocked you the most. Because I'm telling you right now, at least one of these is going to make you say, wait, this was the cheap one? And if you want a part 2, I can do 5 expensive mayos that are not worth it, or even better, the #1 mayo for each recipe, for burgers, chicken salad, potato salad, dips, and sauces. So if you want that, hit the like button, subscribe, and turn on notifications because your sandwiches are about to level up without destroying your grocery budget. And trust me, once you find your perfect mayo, you'll never look at the fancy jars the same way again.